Hi there, it's Riikka Kovasin here with a video for Paper Garden. This time I'm making an art journal spread inspired by midsummer. I'm using some paper garden printables in my spread. These are from older kits, so they might not be available, but there's a lot of different printables available in the store. I'm starting by making the backgrounds. For these, I cut some pieces out of white cardstock and then I used decorative tape to adhere them together. So I'm working the spread as a one piece rather than two pieces, but I already have the seam, so to speak. So then it's easy for me to put the separate pieces to their own pages. I'm adding a double-sided adhesive sheet on top and then start to make a collage using vintage ephemera. There's one bigger piece and then I'm filling the top with smaller pieces from old receipts or shipping documents or, well, bus tickets. After I have my ephemera in place, I'm adding a layer of white gesso on top. I'm using that also to adhere the little pieces that are kind of moving around, but also to make a solid layer and kind of hinder the strong contrast between the printed ink and the yellowish tones of the old papers. After drawing the gesso layer, I then add some stamping. This is a paper garden stamp and I'm stamping by using embossing ink. Then I sprinkle the powder on top, this time using a white embossing powder, and heat the powder to make a resist. When I then have my powder melted, I'm starting to add colors on top. I'm pressing ink pads to my work table, add a couple of spritches of water, and then draw or pull my background through the ink. I'm kind of going for a drippy effect. I was first using brown ink and now I'm doing another layer using blue. This is my favorite color combination at the moment, but these are also inspired by the printables I'm going to use. I then dry the ink layers and actually add a little bit more after drying because then I'm able to build layers better than just using wet ink all the time. I also add some splashes. After that, when I have my papers dry again, I then mount them to my journal to the 2 pages. Then I cut my elements from the printables, the elements I want to use in this spread, and mount the vintage photo on top of a little tag. I add a couple of stickers to the background and then start to make the bigger compositions. I'm using the same brown ink to ink around the edges of the craft cardstock I have in kind of both little compositions coming on opposite pages of the spread. I use decorative scissors to make the edge a little bit more interesting and then start to layer the printables together with a craft cardstock piece. For the bigger composition on the right page with the vintage photo underneath, I'm lacking some kind of grounding element, so I'm cutting a bigger piece of the printable underneath and that does the trick, grounding the little tag in place. I then add some stickers, a label sticker and little details here and there. For example, these cut out word or label stickers from the printable as well on the opposite pages. And a little bit later I then finish the page with some old buttons. So here it is, the finished art journal spread using the printables with a midsummer theme. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Wishing you all the best. See you again. Bye.